You ready for this?
Stop playing.
You ready for this?
With your food. Get him.
No, he definitely got me.
Are you kidding me?
Welcome to Shadow of the Erdtree, baby.
What's going on, everyone? Peter Hunt Spitek here from DualShockers.com, joined by video producer Cristian Macias. Today we're taking a look at Elden Ring, Shadow of the Erdtree. It's DLC for this little game. I don't know if you ever heard of it. Cristian, Graveside Plain. Oh, I'm so excited to see all this. Cristian, you've spent some time with this so far. You are a big FromSoft fan. I want to know all about this. I'm curious about the new systems in place. I'm curious about your just opinions on it. What's up? Tell me all about Shadow of the Erdtree.
Dude, I am so happy the DLC is finally out. We can play it. We can talk about it. Just so you know, there are no major story spoilers here. Like, I'm not going to show you the Legacy Dungeon. All the footage that I've gotten was over the course of launch time last night, 3 hours exploring just a little bit of the open environment in the Graveside Plain, and that's it. And so the first thing, one of the major changes, this is an update even to the base game, is you can now sort material by acquisition. So if you just got an item, you can click L3, and then, go to the respective, I guess, category, and then it'll be at the very bottom. It's reverse order, so it'll be the very bottom, and that's the most recent item I just got. So I wanted to quickly show that off, that yes, it is working, and once you click on it, it's across every single category, so everything will be sorted that way.
Oh, that's great. Oh, look at this. Oh, look at this. Look at this guy.
The very first enemy I encountered.
So, go ahead. So sort of walk me through, like I said, you are a big FromSoft fan. In terms of Elden Ring, I'm imagining you played a lot of this game. What was it like getting into Shadow of the Erdtree right off the bat, from your experience with the game?
I had like 160 hours in the game. Prior to the DLC releasing. This is my character that I never went into New Game Plus with. So, getting into it, I was already ready. All I had to do was boot up the game, go to Mogwin Palace, and then I just sat there for 10 minutes at the site of Grace. Just meditative, just waiting for the DLC. And then I had to restart my PS5 because apparently that's a weird thing that, you couldn't just restart the game, you had to restart the PS5, and then I was able to get in the game. Here's the map. The map is sizable. This is just one of the map fragments. I know I think there's more. I don't know where, but the initial map is pretty big.
It's so funny. It reminds me of when I played the game for the first time, Elden Ring, and you just you get that first map fragment, you're like, whoa, this is pretty big. And then you get a second one, and you're like, wait a second, it's this big?
Yeah. Here's the first major change of the DLC. Leveling in this is entirely separate from the main game. So there are two different ways you can do that. One is the Skidoo Tree blessings. You can find these around the game, and it's akin to Sekiro, where you'll level up by one, and now you can do more damage, but you also have more damage mitigation, so you'll take less damage. And then there's the same thing for your Spirit Ashes as well as Torrent. So there are two ways you can level up just by exploring the game. I didn't show off the locations where you can find those because I want people who are interested in playing the DLC to find them themselves. But yeah, there are two different ways you can upgrade.
So you're still collecting runes. I see in the bottom right. Are you unable to level regularly?
You still can. Or
is it pretty much all?
You get enough runes, you can still level up your base character, but that's not going to do anything for you in the DLC. And also, it's worth to have runes to upgrade any weapons that you find in the DLC.
Yeah.
And there's also a lot of these weapons. These enemies dropping a lot of smithing stones. There's a finite amount in the original game, so having the DLC drop, upgrade material is nice.
Sure. So, I used the Bloodhound Fang, I believe it was called, for my playthrough, and I upgraded that all the way and all that sort of stuff. Are there new ways to upgrade items and things like that past? One shot. What is his name? The Black
Black Jail Knight.
Dang, Black Jail.
So just a heads up. You're not going to see me beat any boss in my. Okay. These bosses are indeed tough in a fun way. They're challenging me in a way that it doesn't feel like difficulty for the difficulty's sake for now, but they are heavily engaging fights where you have to be locked in. Here's this like
Sure.
burning wicker man.
Oh, look, he's got the giant, the
Yep.
heads of the
See that?
of the giant flame giant. Yeah, what do you even do about that? You just got to run away at this point, right?
Well,
Like,
no,
just
you're gonna see
bail.
me try to fight him here in a second. We'll see what we can do. How much damage output we'll do. I missed that one.
It was just a big
Yeah,
old
yeah.
whiff, first of all.
That happens. That happens.
Hey, no, I 100%. Yesterday there's a video up on the DualShockers
Look at
YouTube
that.
channel about like figuring out how to get into
Nothing.
just
I'm doing nothing.
absolutely nothing, huh? There's a video up on the channel about how to start the DLC, and I had to fight Moog, and I made a joke about like, oh look, it's the easiest boss in the game, Moog, and then it was about 45 minutes of my life just getting completely
Yeah,
wiped
Moog's
by
tough.
him. Yeah, you hit him twice and just
Yeah,
nothing.
So
huh?
I ran away. We're gonna do a little crossfade here in a second. Don't worry.
Hey, there is a strength in knowing when you're beat and knowing when to get
Yeah.
out of a situation.
We'll be
you're
back,
in.
Mr. Wickerman.
So in terms of like the enemies you were finding, where like that first boss like wiped you just so fast. That Wicker guy like was gonna wipe you so fast if you didn't get out of there. Were you finding enemies that you felt were like you were able to
Yeah.
actually overcome and beat? Or
We'll face them here in a couple of minutes. Like once you go into some of the like side exploration areas or even down the main path a little bit, you'll face mob enemies that you can fight pretty easily. Here's one of these little like
Sure.
NPC and not invaders, but one of these like tough NPC battles, and
Yeah,
he is
yeah.
carrying one of the new weapon types that you can get in this game, which are the beast claws that do like blood loss buildup. And this guy moves
Okay.
very fast and does a lot of attacks.
Well, no armor, just he's got to be the lightest equip load he's got, right? I'm
for sure. Dude gave me the smoke. This dude had hands.
I mean, he's just unrelenting, right? Like, how do you even find an opening with that? I guess there you go. Oh, it's a frost
buildup,
frost
yeah.
weapon, I see.
Darkmoon Greatsword, baby.
I'm excited to go back because I'm excited to. Oh, that's always so offensive, isn't it? When it's like, no, you don't get Estus or a flask of crimson
Yeah.
tears, excuse me.
He's out though.
Something I'm excited about. Oh, is
Yeah.
he? Oh, he did
He
the
only
little
had
shrug.
one.
He's
He only
like,
had
"Oh, I
one.
got him." Yeah, it's time to end this fool.
Yeah,
Christian. Come on
absolutely.
now.
You ready for this?
Stop playing.
You ready for this?
With your food. Get him.
No, he definitely got me.
Are
Yeah,
you
yeah.
kidding me? Were you so mad?
Welcome
I'd
to
be so
Shadow of the Erdtree, baby.
mad. Yeah, I guess.
I'm already
huh?
at like I have a counter up. I'm already past 20 deaths. And here's like here's like one of the main mechanics of the game, like the actual story. Once you get in there, you see these sites of grace with Mikola's crossing. So we're on the search for Mikola, and we have Freya here, who's the first NPC we find in the actual game, who's like search for the crosses. And a little bit later, if you come back to this area, you'll meet a second NPC who'll give you a little bit of a map. Who'll give you a map fragment. Not the same as the one we found earlier, but a specific like item that you can inspect and see where the crosses are on the map. We'll see that in a couple of minutes here, but this is just like the main story of the game.
So I've heard that the story of the DLC is a little bit more linear than FromSoft is usually sort of their usual output. Some people compared it sort of towards the second half of Elden Ring. Is that sort of how you feel?
And to be fair, most of From Software's DLC usually fall into that camp anyway, where the story bit
Sure.
of the DLC is told in a more linear fashion, which I think is usually fine for a DLC. Those criticisms are totally valid, though. Like if you fell in love with the vast openness and ambiguity of come on, the narrative is very much like veiled behind like not double speak, but words that are a bit more cryptic.
I got about
Sure,
10% of it,
right?
I
but
think.
like
yeah,
it is a more open approach to Elden Ring narrative. This is just a bit more focused, I'd call it. So if you are someone who like that about Elden Ring, I could see why you'd be a little bit disappointed, but it still feels
Sure.
part of the course for what a From Software kind of narrative experience is, I think, especially for a DLC.
Gotcha. Get the guard break?
Yeah.
the I am I'll say this. I mean, you know this about me. Dark Souls 3 is my favorite Dark Souls game, because of it's a little bit more linear, it's a little bit less open. So like, you've not said anything to me that's I'm like disappointed to hear. You know what I mean? And I love the openness of Elden Ring and whatever else. But
here's one of the new weapons, and we're gonna have a segment where I just do new weapons. But here's the first, and I can't even I don't have the strength for it to even like wield it properly. So I'm not gonna be I won't be using it. But it does like blood damage when you do a heavy attack version of it, and it's a very cool like blunt weapon to use. I just wanted to show it off real quick, but there is a section coming up where I just use the new weapon types and kind of go over them.
See, I'm excited for that because I was sort of saying this earlier. Like, I used that Bloodhound Fang for like the whole time. Basically, I switched out for a handful of different things, but it's like, no, it's a big sword, big shield, works just fine for me. And
I get it. Like,
100%.
I don't show it off,
but I'm excited.
I don't show it off here, but like, it is fun to experiment. Well, I guess you'll see it in a little bit. It is fun to experiment. You will not be doing the same damage output as like any of the weapons that you bring in with you. I had to like go to the round table hold and go to the blacksmith and like upgrade a little bit just to be able to be hanging with some of these. Look at that rat.
Yeah, big rat.
Just to be able to hang with some of these, like even just the mobs in this game, but they're still fun to use.
Yeah.
So I'm very glad there's Smith.
I want to experiment. I do want to change it up because it seems like some a fair amount of care has been put into these new weapon types, and I'm down to see what they've got. Which is like I said, normally in a game like this, I do the one. I'll use that second NPC you were talking about.
Yep.
Okay, so help me understand a little bit more though. So you level up using the new level system. Is it not worth it at all to use runes to level up anymore?
Not for the DLC because it just won't matter. I mean it's worth it for if you want to like respec or level up a little exactly. But in terms of like how much damage output or damage mitigation you're taking, from my understanding is like it's entirely separate from the main campaign, and you'll be doing essentially
Interesting.
So and they did that because they want like they don't just want you to steamroll your way through the DLC. They want like a separate progression so that all players have like the same base starting point, the same kind of experience of difficulty, and then they kind of progress through the DLC separately, and that makes sense.
So it's almost as if you are starting at level 1
exactly
in some regards. Okay.
Technically, you start at level 0, and then you
I'm so sorry.
go to level 1.
Me.
Yeah.
I guess it depends on the role you play. Yeah, show me.
Yeah, here's me sorting, I should say, not starting, excuse me, and then going to that cross map, and then there it is. Very vague though. Like you have to then open your map and kind of figure out where those are. So here's me going to like kind of the first sort of main path area. I'm not gonna go all the way up, of course, because I don't want to show you the like actual path like up to the legacy dungeon. But it is kind of like more like, all right, here's like the more main path, the next area you should be going to after exploring a little bit to kind of see like what kind of regular mobs you'll be facing in the game.
Yeah.
And you're also going to see my first use of, in this video, of another weapon type, which is the backhand blade stance.
Ooh.
Here's me
Can I ask
it.
a silly question?
Tell me.
How did you? Oh my goodness!
You like
See,
that?
now I'm into that.
But look at that. But look at the damage the damage output. Is far less. Far less.
Is that simply because it's not as upgraded?
Exactly. Like, I think if you upgrade it all the way, it would ultimately be better than anything that I'm carrying. But you just need to grab more smithing stones and have the runes to upgrade. Like I ended up taking that backhand blade to like level +7 or +8. Just to be able to hang, and that's not even in this section. That's in an upcoming section.
Sure. Is there the worry though? I mean, I feel this worry about all From games for the most part, where it's like, I worry that I'm gonna find a weapon that I'm worried that I'm gonna put the time into the resources into upgrading this thing, and then not having enough if it turns out I hate it. Is that still sort of how you feel?
Yes and no. I did feel that way. However, there are different runes you can pick up. Like if you remember in the base game, you can get like these little like runes to like break and eat them, and you gain you'll gain like
Yeah,
the runes.
yeah.
You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
There are shadow runes that work the same way. Where like, and they give you way more. It's like one of
Okay.
them is worth like 1,000. So they're pretty liberal with those runes that you find, and each enemy that you kill gives you a lot. And then a lot of these enemies are dropping smithing stones at
Okay,
a pretty
that was
liberal
the big
at a
question.
pretty liberal pace. So it doesn't feel like it definitely feels like From Software wants you to be investing some of the resources that you find like that one shot.
Oh my gosh. And that's just a random. That's just a random guy, right? That's not a boss. That's just some guy.
A random dude. But they do want you to be investing into like trying different weapons. And speaking of weapons, let's try out some get more an in-depth look at 3 different weapon types. You ready?
Cool. I'm so excited.
This is the belly rat jail.
So sick. The belly rat jail. I'm so into it. I think we use the same shield. Okay, I see. Oh, and so you can one-hand both of those weapons then, too, huh?
Yeah,
So you can
yeah.
one-hand these sort of Wolverine claws.
Do you remember them?
I do. They
Who had them?
very easily handed you
Yeah.
your dinner.
But who's got them now, baby? Who's got
You
them
got 'em.
now? I got them.
He
I got the beast
persevered. He
claws.
went back.
And then
Oh,
I'll
no,
switch to
Alexander.
yeah. You remember him? I miss him.
I don't remember what happened to him in my playthrough, but most NPCs I encountered did not stick around long.
Frozen maggots. You'll see me switch to my second weapon here that I think is really interesting. And I actually really enjoy using this as like a third weapon. These are the perfume bottles. You remember the perfumers that I fought just a little bit ago in this video where they were like, they throw the perfume in the air and it catches ablaze?
Oh, and it lights on fire? Yeah.
I can use these now, and they're great for handling like lower level mobs. If there's like a bunch of them, just throwing that out there. Fantastic.
Are these upgraded at all? Because I mean, you're just
Yeah, no, these are just the base level, but they're great for interrupting
Okay.
enemies as well.
Oh, I believe it. And yeah, scene 2 of just like taking out 3 guys at once, or being able to sort of handle 3 guys at once is huge.
Yeah.
That's pretty good. There's no ammo for this.
No. Ammo. Okay. Get out of here. What are you talking about?
Well, but throwing knives, dog, and
That is an
like,
item,
the
sir.
bows and
Those
stuff.
are items, sir.
I guess so. I guess that's fair. But the bows, they have different arrows that
Arrow
you need
types,
to have.
sure.
and
Yeah,
stuff
that makes
like
sense. That makes sense. Yeah, no, this is just.
Um,
I was surprised. I thought this would be like it would be consuming like maybe like the FP meter, and no, it's just
Yeah.
unlimited.
Is it? I wasn't watching. Was it stamina though?
Good question. I don't think I paid attention either. I would assume so.
All right.
I would assume so.
Yeah. Also,
Yeah.
sorry. There's like pots that you throw in the main game. That's
Yeah, and you
That's
get more of them,
ammo
by the
based.
way. You get way more pots in this. Pots are a big craftable item here. Different kinds of pots you
sweet,
can craft
sweet.
and Shadow the Erdtree.
This
Backhand
is
blade.
I'm
Sick.
so into the backhand blades.
Yeah, the weapon art is probably my favorite of all the weapons that I've used.
Is that where you're just like sliding around them and just sort of getting an uppercut?
Anytime an enemy tries to attack me, I just hit L2 and go to their side.
Do you
break
get
their stance.
iframes during that? You think, or
I don't know if it's iframes or it's me like dodging out of like legit out of the way.
just out of the hitboxes? Yeah.
Brother, remember
So-
this
so-
from the original game? Remember these messages? You don't have the right.
100%.
Therefore, you don't have the right. Oh, you don't have the right.
That's pretty good. Are we gonna see this boss? Oh, and you've got with the shield too. Does that change how it feels a lot, or?
It does. But I do this just so I can like use the weapon art. If you're one handing, you can't weapon art.
It's
Peter,
annoying.
DLC bosses. Look at that.
Whoa, right off
Immediately,
the bat, huh?
immediately in my face.
No,
we are in it.
Oh my gosh. Oh, and this looks good. Oh man, he's just like Yoda
It's incredible, dude.
all over the place. Oh man, he got you with the phantom hand and everything. So obviously you can't speak to this. He's just going wild. But I saw a lot of people talking about like the hour count with this, and some people were like, "Oh my gosh, it was 40 or 50 hours and whatever." I'm more of a casual fan. Elden Ring normally took me about 80 hours.
Casual.
Does this seem
80
like it's
hours
gonna
for
be-
casual.
Yeah, and I left some large stones unturned. Does it seem like there's going to be a lot of like, is there a ton of new content, or is it just a new area that's worth exploring?
A new area that's worth exploring. I mean, based on like what 3.5 hours of me playing, it feels substantial. It feels like it's gonna be lengthy, but it's gonna. It feels like also what you make of it is what you'll get. So if you want to have more time with it, sure. And if you don't, you can just main path it, go to like the 2 legacy dungeons, and be done with it.
Certainly. I imagine that I'm looking at your entire weekend here, huh?
Yeah.
What's about to be? Yeah.
Yeah. That was
awesome. Well, thanks for sharing this. I am going to be dipping in this weekend as well. For more, we'd love to hear from you watching this, what you think of Shadow of the Erdtree, if you're playing it, if you haven't played it, whatever. Until next time, we'll catch you later. Bye.